Hey guys, welcome to the show. So, arguably, one of the most important January 6th Select Committee witnesses was Mark Meadows' former aide, Cassidy Hutchinson. She witnessed some of the most damning actions, inactions, statements made, on and around January 6th by not just Donald Trump, but others. And we were reminded through her testimony that Mark Meadows burned documents in his office fireplace on numerous occasions after meeting with Congressman Scott Perry. And Hutchinson witnessed this herself. She didn't know what was in the documents, but she knew that he did it. And again, here's Scott Perry's name popping up. So I really think this guy is in big trouble if they can flip Meadows or anybody else in the inner circle with Trump and get to him. But the really big news is something that just broke, and it's the fact that so many Trump-related figures appear to be trying to steer Hutchinson in the wrong direction and advising her to downplay her knowledge to the committee. And we've learned this through testimony that she gave after her live appearance with the Select Committee. So here's the deal. Here's the new details that have been revealed. Hutchinson explained to the committee how she came to work with her first attorney, Stephen Passantino. This is the attorney who allegedly told her to conceal evidence. Hutchinson explained that she reached out to a White House attorney, a woman named Liz Horning, and she made it clear to this Liz Horning that she wanted to work with an attorney who wasn't connected to Trump world. Hutchinson said that Horning was one of her closest friends in the White House. So Horning referred her to several attorneys. Some of those attorneys referred her to other attorneys. And the reason being is that Hutchinson had no source of income at the time. So she needed someone who could either do pro bono work or at a very reasonable price. So after she talked with numerous people, she explained her situation. She came to an agreement with an attorney first. This was a guy named Andrew White. He agreed to work something out with her. He said, don't worry, we're going to take care of you, blah, blah, blah. Well, she arrives at his office, and she confirmed this the day before she went and met with him. She arrives at his office, and he has a $150,000 retainer letter waiting for her to sign. And he said, oh, well, things have changed since we last spoke. So she wasn't sure what those things were, but she went back to her friend Liz, and Liz starts advising her, oh, you need to reach out to Trump-related lawyers. So looking back on it now, Hutchinson says she believes that she was being pushed, she was being manipulated into working with attorneys who had a loyalty to Trump. So she had dinner with Horning. Horning made it clear that other witnesses were trying to downplay Hutchinson's knowledge of what took place. They spoke about Horning's then fiance. He's now her husband. It's a man named Derek Lyons. And he also worked in the White House, by the way. So Horning said, oh, my fiance, he just met with the Select Committee, and they asked him about you and what you might know. But Horning assured her, and she said, quote, don't worry, Derek talked it down a little bit, like the committee has the wrong ideas about all of this. He's taking care of you. So this is a very big theme, this whole we're taking care of you thing kept coming up over and over again. A while later after this meeting, Hutchinson ends up getting a call from attorney Alex Cannon, and he is the one who hooks her up with Passantino. Now, if Cannon's name sounds familiar, it's because he's one of the attorneys who's involved in this whole classified documents investigation. So Hutchinson was relieved to finally have an attorney, but she said, it was a bit of a red flag because Passantino said to her, oh, you don't have to sign an engagement letter with me. And he said, quote, we have you taken care of. So then when Hutchinson finally meets with Passantino in person, he tells her, and this is in her words, quote, we're going to downplay your role. You were a secretary. You had an administrative role. Everyone's on the same page about this. Who's everyone, right? So he goes on to say, quote, the less you remember, the better. So Hutchinson tells the committee that she eventually put it together in her mind that everyone meant Trump White House attorneys Justin Clark, Alex Cannon, Eric Hirschman, people like that. Passantino also told her that if she overheard conversations, she didn't need to relay that information to the committee because it's circumstantial. And when she told him the story about how she had heard of Trump having this violent temper tantrum in his limo on January 6th, Passantino allegedly said to her, quote, "No, no, 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 no. We don't want to go there. We don't want to talk about that." And then Passantino advised that she keep this story to herself. And then that's when he told her in part, quote, "The less the committee thinks you know, the better. And then you're going to be taken care of." So again, this keeps coming up. Do what we say, and you're going to be taken care of. Later in the conversation, Passantino then advised her to use the phrase, "I don't recall," if she couldn't remember every single detail about something that happened. So she asked him, "Well, what if I can remember part of it, but I don't know all of it?" And he said, "Oh, no, if you don't remember all of it, you just say, 'I don't recall.'" And he said, quote, "We want you to use that response as much as you deem necessary." So again, we, who's we? Keeps referring to we, everyone. And when Hutchinson told him that she knew in advance of planning that Trump and his supporters had to march down to the Capitol, he told her that unless she was asked a very specific, nuanced question, she shouldn't mention any of it. And Hutchinson told the committee that if Passantino didn't like one of the questions she was asked, his plan was to ask for a break in the deposition to try to derail the questioning. Or he said he was going to try to invoke attorney-client privilege with one of the White House counsels. In addition, he said, I'm shift in my seat, or I'll grumble a little bit to give you a sign that maybe you're going in a direction that we don't like. And Hutchinson said in one of these meetings, it was the second interview before the committee, Passantino hands her this large stack of papers. And I should mention this was through Zoom. So her first and second interview with the committee were through Zoom. Right before it's about to begin, the second meeting, he hands her this huge stack of papers with the names of the January 6th rally speakers printed on them. And he said, the committee's going to want to know what you know about these people. So Hutchinson said she wanted to answer questions because she knew a lot about all of these people, but she felt unprepared because she had no advance warning. So Passantino just told her, quote, "If you don't remember when you look at it, it's fine. Just don't say, anything. Just say you don't remember." And then he also advised that she not look at anything online to jog her memory. And he said, do not put a timeline together. Do not write things down. Do not put a timeline together, because that will become the property of the committee. You will have to turn it over. And then on the morning of her first deposition, Passantino meets with her. He assures her that she didn't need to be completely forthcoming because the committee would get all of the same information from other witnesses. And then, according to Hutchinson, he told her, quote, "We just want to focus on protecting the president. We all know you're loyal." And Passantino reiterated several times that Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, quote, "put you in this position." People kept saying that to her. "Oh, Mark put you in a terrible position. He exposed you to things that you shouldn't have been exposed to." And then Passantino also, in that first meeting, that right before they're about to go in for her first committee meeting, he then broaches the subject of, quote, job opportunities for her. Again, this is the morning prior to her first meeting with a select committee. That's also when he told her that during the deposition, quote, "your go-to is, I don't recall." So sure enough, in that first meeting with the committee, Hutchinson was asked about Trump's meltdown in the limo, and Hutchinson said she didn't know anything about it. And when they took a break, she told Passantino, quote, "I'm fucked. I just lied." And he told her, quote, "You didn't lie. They don't know what you know, Cassidy. They don't know that you can recall some of these things." And then Passantino went on to say, quote, "They don't know that there is something. We're not going to give them anything because this is not important." And he again assured her, quote, "You're doing the right thing." And then later that night, they went and had dinner or drinks or something. And he again broaches the subject of trying to secure employment for her with his law firm. And for some reason, he informed her that he planned to lie to Mark Meadows and others and to not let them know that the committee had requested a second interview with her. Because at the end of the first interview, they said, "We want to have you back." And he was kind of freaked out about that. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to tell everyone that the second meeting is the first meeting." So that's a major red flag. So approximately 1 week after that first meeting with the committee, they speak on the phone, meaning Passantino and Hutchinson. And he tells her, quote, "We're going to get you a really good job in Trump world. You don't need to apply other places. We're going to get you taken care of. We want to keep you in the family." Then again, a couple days later, Passantino referred her to Trump loyalists Jason Miller and Justin Clark. And he said, quote, "They know that you're loyal. They want to take care of you. Reach out to them. They have good job opportunities for you." Then, the night before Hutchinson's second deposition, she receives this call from another White House staffer named Ben Williamson. And this is when this guy tells her, quote, "Mark wants me to let you know that he knows you're loyal and he knows you'll do the right thing tomorrow and that you're going to protect him and the boss. You know he knows that we're all on the same team and we're all a family." So now we know who it was who passed along that message, that mob-like message from Mark Meadows. So sometime around Hutchinson's depositions, between, the first and second one, attorney Pam Bondi messaged her. You guys might remember that name. She's the one who gave Trump a pass after he donated $25,000 to her campaign. So Bondi said that she had just had dinner with Trump and others at Mar-a-Lago and that they were talking about Cassidy Hutchinson and about finding employment for her. So Trump is talking about her. She's top of mind with him at this time. It was also around this time that Hutchinson's attorney, Passantino, tells her, quote, "The boss does read transcripts, and we want to make sure that whatever he's reading isn't going to put you in a bad situation." And then Passantino also informed her that Trump's White House attorneys were upset with some of her testimony. This is after something was leaked to the press or something came out in the press about Mark Meadows. And they meant like Pat Cipollone and Pat Philbin were upset about some of her testimony. So after Hutchinson's second deposition and after the committee documents were released, Hutchinson just felt horrible. The guilt got the best of her. It really got to her. And so that's when she decided, I don't want to be this person. I've turned into someone I don't want to be. And at that point, she reached out to someone who had quit. I think it was in early December. Because they just didn't want to be associated with all the Stop the Steal nonsense. So she reached out to that person. She figured out that she could use this woman as a back channel to the committee. And so what happened was she worked out a way to be like a double agent. She told the committee through this back channel, through this second person, that I have information. I can't say it in front of my attorney unless you specifically ask me about it, basically, because he's told me not to elaborate. So the committee calls her in for a third deposition. And she, like I said, essentially she's playing a double agent in this interview. So she gave more fulsome answers than what she had previously given, but she pretended to be surprised by this line of questioning when Passantino was expressing concern. Like he pulled her aside in between the testimony and he was kind of freaking out. So after she testified, they go out to dinner, they're talking, and he's saying, I don't know what's going on. We know that no one's talking. We know that no one in Trump world is giving out this information. I don't know how they got this stuff. I don't know how they came to these questions. And he made it clear that he needed to, quote, get out ahead of it and to, quote, keep you in good graces in Trump world. And it's funny, though, how all of her so-called job prospects dried up after she sat for that third deposition and after she told the committee the truth. Everything just vanished. And now we know that her attorney, this Passantino guy, had roughly 400,000 reasons to keep Trump world happy, because Passantino, as you guys know, was being paid by a Trump-connected super PAC, by a political action committee. It's the Save America PAC. And in 2022, according to FEC disclosures, Passantino was paid $400,000 for his work with just January 6 defendants. So it sounds like Passantino is yet another Trump attorney who needs to MAGA. He needs to, make attorneys, get attorneys. He needs to go get his own defense attorney. One thing I found really interesting about Hutchinson and her testimony is she really held two very conflicting points of view. I mean, she was really suffering, maybe still is, from cognitive dissonance. On one hand, she wanted to tell the truth. She wanted to be a good person, do the right thing. On the other hand, she said, I want to remain loyal to Trump. I don't want to say anything that might embarrass him. And she admitted she feared Trump world. She told the committee, quote, I'd seen this world ruin people's lives or try to ruin people's careers. I'd seen how vicious they can be. And then in a conversation with her mother, after she realized that her her option was Passantino, this Trump-connected attorney, she told her mom, quote, I'm fucked. I am completely indebted to these people, and they will ruin my life if I do anything that they don't want me to do. So she wanted to remain loyal to people who were vicious and cruel, people who would happily destroy her life if she didn't toe the line. These are her friends and colleagues. This is the party she wants to be a part of. And here's the other thing that just came out that's related to Hutchinson. William Harrison, he goes by the name of Bo, he was a Trump special assistant for operations. He was also interviewed by the committee, and he claims that on January 6th, he also spoke with Bobby Engel, and that he was told that Trump just shrugged it off when he was told that he couldn't go to the Capitol. Harrison told the committee, quote, if something like had been described had occurred, I 100% would have known about it and would have heard that. Now, I might be willing to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I might be inclined to believe him. But his attorney is Stephen Passantino. So, yeah, I'm going to take his testimony with a mountain of salt. I do give Hutchinson credit. I'm pissed off that she didn't step up during Trump's impeachment and tell what she knows. But I do give her a lot of credit because she did take a huge risk, and she had almost no one on her side. When she decided to do what was right, even her own biological father refused to help her. I mean, he'll burn in hell for that, but, anyway, whatever. But yeah, no one was on her side. No one understood. Like I said, there was that one person who quit Trump's administration because of Stop the Steal. But other than that, she's ostracized now. Her job prospects, are gone. I don't know if she's still loyal to these people, but she needs to wake up. She really needs to wake up. I mean, she's too good of a person to be in the Republican Party is the bottom line. So if I hear any more, I'll let you know. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate. It truly helps to keep the show going. I greatly appreciate all of you. Hope you all have the best 2023. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.